a little something different now. God, a concept that has followed mankind for as long as has been recorded. Be it in the form of Ra, Zeus, Allah, or just a generic god, they are all the same when ground down to a fine powder. A god is just an excuse, a reason, and a placeholder. You can use a god to justify your opinion, as a reason for your actions or failures, or as a placeholder for things that you do not know. People have always used God as an excuse for all their irrational beliefs, homophobia being a major one. Homosexuals have been despised by the faithful for thousands of years, not because a divine being has an issue with them, but because people disagree with them. They do not understand, and because they do not understand, they usually want to destroy. But people are rarely willing to go on a hate spree over just a thought, but a god. Now there's a reason for you. They use God to explain their irrational hatred, as it eases their conscience. God is an excuse for your irrational beliefs, and therefore, by definition, God is you. God can also be a reason for people who cannot accept their own shortcomings, or in some cases, their own success. People thank God that they passed their exam, for example. God had nothing to do with it. You passed the exam. Your hard work did it. Why take credit and give it to that which is not deserving of credit? Or on the other hand, you may have failed and told yourself that God wills it, or God works in mysterious ways, which could quite easily be an unhealthy view. One for those who cannot accept because they cannot accept that they passed the exam, therefore they blame it on God, while the actual fact is that the blame rests with you. So, you can either seek improvement or blame it on God. People should seek improvement. People just blame it on God, which is not going to help them improve, is it? One of the most rational uses of God, though, is as a placeholder. If you do not know something, then the reason is God. A good example of this can be attributed to the ancient Greeks, who, for obvious reasons, did not know how the sun moved around across the sky, or why the moon only appeared at night. When in this situation, you have two major options. Option A is you accept that you do not know the answer, and you attempt to find evidence to support your own solution, or, at the very least, wait until a solution is discovered. Or option B, which is look for a quick, easy answer and attribute it to God. Option B is definitely the option that the Greeks took, and that never helped them, did it? Explaining that a titan moved the sun and the moon across the sky. Titan being just another way of saying God. Using God as a placeholder can quite often be a good option. It can settle the minds of those who need answers, and it can always be corrected once the correct solution has been found. God is an X, so to speak. Unfortunately, by choosing this solution, it may cause people, who would usually search for the correct answer, to just accept it, and therefore limiting their knowledge and postponing knowledge of mankind. Once an answer has been found for this question, you may think it completely reasonable then to fill in the X with your answer and leave it be. 2 plus 2 equals 4, for instance. But people don't want to let go of this. They still insist that 2 plus 2 equals X, when it is very clearly not. The most recent example being creationists, those who believe that the Earth was only a few thousand years old and their God plucked the Earth out of nowhere in 7 days and populated it with animals as they are today. We rather know that this is not true. We have fossils and animals dating back millions of years. These fossils, combined with knowledge of animals right now, helps us conclude that in fact these animals slowly evolved into what they are now, as opposed to just being the way they were from day one. Despite its evidence, creationists refuse to let go of the X. A simple flaw that can be easily found in many holy books, and may possibly help disprove things, are contradictions. And I'm not talking about lost in translation contradictions, saying 70 instead of 700. I mean contradictions of personality. In the Bible, their God claims to be forgiving, and in essence does not hold a grudge, so to speak. But later on he claims that someone has angered him, a fire that shall burn forever, implying that the grudge shall be held. I've heard of the vengeful God, I've heard of the forgiving God, but never the hypocritical God, which is always the God they seem to leave out. Real shame, to be honest, because that's the God I like the most. Of course, it is impossible in itself to disprove the notion of God, due to its being so vague. If I found evidence to disprove a certain aspect of God, people would just change that aspect, therefore making my evidence obsolete, which allows prophets, most commonly, to use God as a way of proving their moral views and pushing them on other people, as they did. And look at what's happened now. We have Christianity, we have Islam, we have Judaism, all because someone pushed their beliefs on someone else, using God as a tool. God is, in the end, your excuse for your views that you could not explain, your reason for your own shortcomings, and a placeholder for that which you do not know or do not understand. Mankind has evolved physically, but God has not evolved with it, and until people start looking for evidence as opposed to quick answers, can the minds of mankind catch up with the rest of them. Enjoy. Like this, favourite it, comment, and subscribe, and have fun.